Oh.
Yeah,
Make a motion to come out of executive session.
I'll second. Moved in second, is discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Back out in open session. Item, our acting superintendent isn't here yet, so, or Cheryl. Well,
I was gonna offer go get her, but
now, okay, Bill, we'll go there.
Thanks for not offering them.
yeah, okay.
Well, who can fill us in on the grant awards? We need her?
Sue the Monaco, but
Oh, okay, well, she's not here.
Cheryl has all the information for
Anytime we're getting money, we want it.
So table that? Yeah, motion to approve.
it.
Can we just call a question? We can just table it.
big one.
They won't come back.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, table 6.1. Well,
6.2 doesn't say.
I'm pretty sure.
Just wait.
Just move to 6.3.
well, I mean, gee, okay, I can discuss them. Did you read them?
The board goals.
The grants? Okay, the first one being the school family community partnership. And basically what it is CPRC is the Connecticut State Department of Education. School family community partnership. As you are aware, the FPC seeks to build capacity of schools and families to collaborate, create, and sustain strong partnership and support student education success. What we're going to receive, okay, start up. You're on. First one.
First one is $2,000 from the Litchfield, oh, I'm sorry, first one. Yeah, first one you don't have in your packet, this just arrived yesterday, but because we were doing grants, I put it in there. The first one is $2,000 for, from Litchfield Hills Food Systems, and this is to support the Kids Marathon, and it will provide transportation for children and families to attend the last run of the marathon that's held June 9th at Litchfield High School. Our students will be preparing all year to participate in the marathon. As you heard from how East School has already started, and then they actually get to do the last mile. And parents are there, and teachers, and everybody to cheer them on. And they'll have T-shirts and medals, and so this $2,000 will help defray transportation there on that Saturday, as well as the, there's a minimal entrance fee. The second one that's in there is School Family Community Partnership, and this was a grant that we received last year, and it was renewed. And it's $2,000, and what it allows our schools to do is actually work with Nita Diaz, who will come out and explain different ways of engaging parents beyond the traditional methods of parent conferences and you know, curriculum nights. The other piece too is the Governance Council that was spoken about earlier today. Mrs. Peterson mentioned it in her comments, and they are actually responsible for developing a community council, governance council with schools, so the funding could be used for that. But we'll provide professional development at a monthly principals meeting. The next piece is school readiness, and it's $107,000, and it allows us to provide 15 slots in our NIAC accredited preschools in town, which are at a Head Start and Torrington Child Care Center on Kennedy Drive, which is our state-funded preschool program. They're both NIAC accredited, and again, it provides, and we also provide professional development for preschool teachers through this grant. And so it gives an opportunity for them to see a connection between what's going on in the preschool program and the expectations of kindergarten. This also supports our involvement with tech. The next one, primary mental health, is $24,000, and this is for Forbes School. And what it provides support for children who are new to school, generally in kindergarten and first grade, and helps them transition from home to school and to really learn what it is to be a student. Many children who have not had a preschool experience do not know what it's like to be in a classroom, let alone to be away from home. And there could be a lot of anxiety and inability to attend and follow directions. And this provides a half hour a week one-on-one with a trained tutor that works with the children and through guided questions and through playing games or working with different materials to help the children learn the expected behavior in school and how to adjust to being away from home. The next one is, this was supposed to be a summer program for arts integration. It was a collaborative with Artwell, Nutmeg Conservatory, and Warner Theater in Torrington Public Schools, and was to focus on literacy, acquisition, and understanding in reading comprehension as demonstrated through the arts. It was supposed to be a 3-week program for 75 students, not only from Torrington Public Schools, but from New Hartford, Barkhamsted, and Winsted. We had everything all set to go, and then money didn't come in because the state didn't have a budget. Well, it came in October, so now we have to run the program sometime during the school year. So we have faculty who are ready and willing and able to go. We have the curriculum. We just have to figure out when we're going to offer the 3 weeks. We could do it on Saturdays. We could do it 2 weeks in June. We don't go into that with our snow days. But this money is not going back to the state. The next one is, again, another interdistrict grant, and this is between Torrington and Litchfield, and it's with the Discovery Center. And it really, the focus of it is to train teachers on diversity, and then to bring children together, and we're focusing on our 4th and 5th grade. Currently, we're doing a program in-house between sister schools, and that is between East and Forbes School. This will now allow us to expand our program among Southwest, Vogel, Torringford, and Litchfield Center School. The next one is the Perkins Grant at Torrington High School. Joanne, I just need a little help with this one and what your money is used for at that. Because I didn't write it and I didn't.
I'm sorry, it's used for the Career and Tech Ed program. So it funds courses, equipment, in courses in business, all the tech ed, computer courses, family and consumer science, which is the foods and the clothing and so forth. And enables folks to go to conferences and connect. And also the Perkins Grant has a lot of the career connections that Mr. Norton, you were asking about. And so some of the partnerships that occur, and for example, I think transportation to, they go to the medical center. It brings a group of students to the medical center to see careers in the health professions and things like that. So kind of it covers the CTE, Career and Tech Ed program, but there's also some connections with other disciplines as well.
Thank you. The IDEA A and B is funding for students with special education, and it can be used for, like special therapists. It can be used for training, like this year with the Wilson program, which is a supplemental reading program. It can be used for paraeducator salaries, teacher salaries, transportation, anything that for special education. It's a substantial amount. The next one is the Fresh Fruits and Vegetable Program, and the purpose of this program is to provide Vogel School students with fresh fruits and vegetables 3 times a week, beyond the regular lunch program. So as a healthy snack. It's based on the number of free and reduced lunches you have within the building. We applied for every elementary school, and Vogel received it. There's one that we haven't received the grant award notification. I just received an email. It's for $156,000 for the Even Start program. And that's for a program that was initiated last year at Forbes, and will continue, and it works with our neediest families, with educating the adults, providing home visits, getting them to understand the importance of literacy in their child's life, and to become better parents.
How much is that for sure?
156, no, I don't know if you have any questions.
How much what was the dollar amount?
156,000.
It's like $1,700,000.
And we're still waiting for our immigrant, bilingual, and our Title I, II, and III.
Thank you.
When will you report out how this is being expensive, just over the course of the year, or is it going to be, will it be a report, I don't know, in a lump form, how all this money is going to be spent, or will it just be over the course of the year?
They're pretty restrictive of how we use them.
Yeah.
But I can pull it right from the budgets that I constructed to show you how it's used, because
Yeah, not a lot of
Once a
detail,
year, I think.
just to
When would be the more appropriate time of year to go over all the grants and everything to the board, to just familiarize them on a yearly basis on what grants we have and.
Yeah,
what
just
we
how
realize
it's
now,
Okay.
and
just,
well, these are the
not a
ones.
big discussion, just.
Yeah. Okay.
maybe put it as a template and keep it for,
Yeah.
offbeat, say.
Do you want it before
June or July.
budget, or do you want it later?
After budget.
After
Yeah,
budget.
June, July.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Sure.
Yes, go ahead.
Very impressive. I mean, I'm extremely impressed with the dollar amounts on the wide variety of grants that we receive. Could you explain to me just who's basically responsible, how this process you
That was my
as-
other job.
Okay, you as the acting
No,
superintendent?
me as the director of special programs.
Okay,
The only one I did not write was the Perkins, and that's written by a team of teachers at the high school. I did help with the IDEA.
well, good job.
Well, with the last one, with the Even Start program, we're one of 3 communities to receive that. And that's big doings, because it lets you focus on breaking the cycle of poverty through education.
We as a board, how can we articulate certain ideas if we can actually get consensus for you to try to get certain types of grants for the district, i.e. more grants for career-oriented technology, career-oriented courses. How would we try to?
It's a full-time job. Grant writing is a full-time job.
Right.
And
But I mean,
right
how
now,
would,
this
how
year,
do
I
we
can't
as a
do it.
board get an idea of what potentially out there in these different topics? Is there some way that?
There's, on the internet, foundations. You can go through the federal and state government. I mean, I always check our state government because when I looked back at the history here for Torrington, we weren't even getting state money over the past 5 years. So it was easy to start writing and pull money in. And once you're successful, other grants will follow. But you can do Google, and a bunch of grants will come up that you can apply for. If you have a specific focus, there's foundations. You just have to go looking. There's books in the library this thick with grants and addresses and topics. And
Okay, credit recovery, online learning.
Paul, I didn't know if you wanted to share from the committee or just let me go through the, I mean.
Yeah, just go through it, then
Okay.
after you, then I'll say what the committee recommends.
There's a 2-page handout, which was a summary of everything that has been discussed previously, both at the board meeting, and then the second, when you take a look from going the program design selection, we're looking at us-ware, and I did bring this is the program that we decided to go with, and so I brought that if anybody would like to take a look at it tonight. The cost is about $28,000 for the multi-user licenses, $700 per seat. And the professional development for this would be about $3,100, up to 25 adults can be trained. Where I've listed the towns where it's currently being implemented. Support services are available in multiple ways. Well, someone will come face-to-face. You can do telephone call. You can do, there's people from Education Connection who will also come down and work with us if we have difficulty. There's no need to purchase additional devices to get set up and working. You need computers and software. And it's web-based and easily accessible by students. They can get on at home or at school or wherever they can hook up to Wi-Fi. It's aligned with the Common Core standards, which are the standards for Connecticut right now. It contains most courses and content that's available in public high schools. If you're a teacher, you can, yes, customize it to the curriculum that you have currently within your school. And local content can be added, so if you have Connecticut history, it can be added to a history course. There are assessments there, so the teacher does not have to design the assessments, but they can, as a classroom teacher, can also take these assessments and amend them for what you would like to do in your classroom. And student progress can be closely monitored. We're proposing supervision provided by a teacher, tutor serving in the capacities as a project manager. That's 42 weeks, 2 days per week, 6 hours per day at $35 an hour, for a total of $17,640. And for a site instructor, this person who will work 40 weeks, 2 days per week, 4 hours per day at $28 an hour, for a total of $8,960. The total cost for the program is $57,620, and the length of the contract would be for 1 year, from the day we start, 1 calendar year, not 1 school year.
Yeah, the School Improvement Committee gave a lot of consideration to this. The we were looking at it as accomplishing 2 things for us. One was the immediate problem of credit recovery at the high school. You know, our staff and our administrators and teachers, we need help up there. We know we've got a crisis situation. We have to do something immediately. The board didn't and couldn't and commit to the much bigger alternative school project that was initiated and brought forward by OPP. And in the absence of that, we needed something. This seemed to be a practical and immediate solution that could help these kids this year now. And it could be implemented quickly. We knew that it had local support from Education Connection, which is why we went with this particular version of it. The administration brought forward 3 different plans. This one seemed to satisfy the most immediate needs. What the committee also was very supportive of is that we are looking at this. We wanted to have a very small footprint with this. We did not want to get ourselves entangled in any commitment to any program, any system architecture, any capital investments, because we were the second objective of implementing this was that we know that online learning is coming. We know it's coming very fast from the state, and we thought that this could be also function as a very good, useful learning tool for our school district, for our administrators and our teachers, and our students to see exactly how this new sort of teaching assistance works. And like I said, it's a relatively small commitment in terms of dollars, a zero commitment in terms of capital, and based on that, the committee is fully supportive of it and is anxious to see that this board get this up and running now. We need help now. Administration needs help now. These people need help now. And this is the best solution that came before the committee to address those 2 needs.
Any other questions?
I just wanted to add that this isn't our dropout students, for those that want to commute. It's the kids that are missing a credit year.
Okay, go ahead.
I have one question. The Board of Finance last night did not approve these funds, so how do we intend to pay for this?
From the. No, that's not, no, they approved these funds a while ago.
No, last night.
No, last night it was technology capital. It's something totally different. This was approved like 2 months ago, the technology one, but that got pushed tabled to December's meeting.
Okay, so
yeah.
they didn't take money from this to pay
No,
for brush
absolutely
cleanup.
not.
They took it from a different,
They can't take our money. I don't know what they do with their money because I don't support, but they can't take our money.
okay, so we're sure we have the
Yes.
money.
Yeah, we
Yes.
have the money,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, and one last comment I'd like to make too, just, it's a very sensitive issue, online learning, sensitive issue to our staff, sensitive issue to a lot of people involved in public education. And the other consideration, School Improvement Committee, once again, was doing this. It's a very limited focus right now. It's a 1-year cycle. It's that we're paying for, and again, it's a very low commitment. And we are not seeing this. We're not looking at this as a substitute for real teaching. We are looking for this as an assistance program to help us through a crisis of non-graduating seniors. That's clearly what we're focused on. And I'd just like to point that out. So it shouldn't be seen as in any way that this is to supplant
Right.
staff or teaching, traditional teaching methods.
I mean, reading, it would have been nice to have this book earlier, no offense, but if you read one page here, it sets you up. I mean, it correlates grades from 3 to 12. This has the potential to go down to elementary courses all the way up. So in the future, maybe the board.
Yeah, we're not paying for a set of courses, we're paying for
Right.
seats.
Right.
We're paying for seats, and then it's up to the administration to decide which courses will really help. And we're gonna prioritize that, we're gonna prioritize that in terms of the students that
But
really
the
need
system
it.
itself, the Odyssey Ware,
Yeah.
once,
It's scalable.
Yes, yeah.
could be
Mhm.
implemented in the future in a greater stance.
Yeah,
That could be utilized a lot more, for all the schools. Base curriculum from 3 to 12.
Yeah, and quite frankly, Cheryl, do you want to talk about, you had an auxiliary, again, just in terms of, besides credit recovery for at-risk seniors right now, there was another sort of broader sort of possible usage for that Cheryl wanted to look at.
Well, actually, two other uses. One, being the advocate for second language learners, they could, one of the greatest difficulties we have is providing them content language, in their first language. We cannot hire certified teachers who are both certified ESL and, say, math. So you wind up with 2 teachers in a classroom. These provide courses in the student's first language. If they're fluent readers in their first language, we can provide them that more rigorous content. The other piece is if we have students, because of very busy schedules, they can take the higher end courses online because they won't have to adhere to, I have to be in this honors chemistry class or honors biology class, or at this particular time of the day. They can work on it online at home, say if they're leaving for sports, or it doesn't fit in their regular schedule because they have a conflict. That both courses are being offered simultaneously. So it can be enrichment and enhancement, it can be for ESL, and most importantly for our credit recovery students. And because if we start it in December or January, we can run it that year. We can use it as a summer program that it will not cost students to pay for summer courses.
Okay.
Well, I'd like to make a motion that we accept OddsWare as an online learning platform.
I'll second.
Okay. So made in second. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye. Opposed? Very good, thank you. Board goals.
What I have here are proposed goals for 2011-12 for the board. Sue and I went through several documents, including your goals from last year, the strategic plan goals, secondary reform goals. We received this chart a couple months ago, and we tried to show how they were all integrated, but you had multiple. So what we did was that we broke it down to these 6.
Discussion?
First of all, are you expecting us to vote on this tonight as board goals?
Like to, if we could.
I personally would rather, if we don't want to do it at this level, go back to school improvement and hash out some different concepts as far as school board goals for the upcoming year. I mean, there's things that I would like to try and articulate and get going as far as what I perceive the district needs to do in the future as our board goals. I mean, unless everyone feels like this is where they want to be.
Anybody have a problem with this going to school improvement?
My only question, it's our goals for this year?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so that would be my only concern,
Well,
is that
and
we're
you'll see
setting
it
our
in 2
goals at the
months.
end of the year.
May see it in a month with the new board. I mean,
Well, that's another
if it
consideration
comes
too.
out of school improvement too. So it may be worthwhile to go, when do you meet again?
I'm not sure when the next one is. Do we have that?
Is it
Last
after?
Wednesday, yeah, the Wednesday after Thanksgiving.
Right.
Okay, so it's before the new board.
It's December 1st.
It's just before. Okay.
So if that's December 1st, then when's the next full board? Next full board.
21st. December, correct?
Correct. December 21st is
Full
the next
board.
board meeting.
Unless the board,
Pardon?
just to get this done, we want to move to the first Wednesday
All right,
in
because
December. We
things
could
could be.
do that.
Well, it's not that just to get it done, if you wanna, if you can relocate the meeting after the new, well, can't do that, because on the new board on the 21st, you have to set your exact everything else, so you include, and in January, January, you'll have your committees. But, so that may change, you know, the character of the committee.
Or do you want to, do the board goals go to school improvement, or should there be the whole board?
Whole board, typically when we do our summer review,
Right.
we retain our goals during the summer, but because of the situation that we dealt with during the summer, we kind of forego it, and we really didn't put forward our goals. We established an assessment of our goals and what we have done. But
Do
what
we
we
want to
achieved,
just
but
receive this and let
when we
members
receive it,
make
make
comments on it
float
for the
out
next
there,
one?
and they make it as a board as a whole, as another discussion item in December with the new board, and see which way you want to go with it. Not procrastinate, it's just, you know, it's a living document. I mean, we can let it grow too. Okay, so you want to table it?
Yeah.
Okay. Motion to table.
I'll make a motion.
Okay, by Ken, second by David, discussion. All those in favor say aye. So moved, thank you. Okay, policy modification, suspension, and expulsion. $61.92,
The
policy chair.
policy committee, we added the current public act, current statute to the policy. The concern of the policy was if a student was taken into custody and was not available for a expulsion hearing or disciplinary hearing within the time allotted, this new statute allows for stipulations to accommodate when you can have your hearing and what the process is. So we added that to our existing suspension and expulsion policy. I would make a motion to the board that we accept this revised policy.
Motion been made, second by Ellen. Discussion. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, so moved, unanimous, thank you. 7010.
Policy 7010 is our use of facilities policy. It's bounced around a few times. It was up here for a first read. It went back to policy. It's back for a second read. It's actually back in the exact same format. What the change in it was that it's under fees, section E, custodial fees. It's on page 2 of the policy. We added a paragraph that simply states, school-related groups shall negotiate with the superintendent of schools on a reasonable limit to the number of hours of custodial time to be provided by the district. Such negotiations should be completed before the budget is set and included in the superintendent's proposed budget for the following school year. We also added on page 3, number J, or letter J, under actual usage restrictions, that school groups are defined as any and all school-based organizations which include current students and or families such as PTO, booster clubs, student government, National Honor Society, etc. It's not a complete list, but we just wanted to identify the examples of what the groups were. There was talk of setting actual numbers in here, but we did not feel that as we should set budgetary requirements in a policy. So we left it up to the superintendent to determine what the budgetary impact would be and what kind of money and room they had. It was passed at budget, so I would like to make a motion that this be accepted by the board.
Second by Dan. Discussion. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed, so moved, thank you. Okay. Videotaping. Board of Ed meetings. Go over.
Yeah, I can address the videotaping as the former videographer of the board. I am very pleased to relinquish those duties, at least for one night, possibly going into the future. Mr. Fauché, a retired gentleman, a long-time videographer and graphic artist from Aetna, took advantage of the recent buyout and comes to the Board of Ed at a very reasonable cost. He's willing to stand there and videotape our meetings and then upload or get them ready for upload to the website within 3 days so that the board can look at it. Mr. Fauché is proposing that the board meeting be done in 3 separate segments so that an individual can sit with the agenda, have an idea of what section, unless they want to watch the whole thing, which they're certainly welcome to do, pick out the section that they want to view and watch it in its entirety, rewind it, play it again, turn it up, turn it down, whatever works for them. We think that in the long run, we could have a better product for the community. The key is going to be that turnaround time, so we'll see how we do with that. Now, there is discussion about taking this back to the Torrington High School on a permanent basis. Without getting into too much of another discussion about that, we felt that by taking the meetings on the road, we might get a better turnout. Hasn't necessarily been the case. I think people are having a hard time keeping track of when they are, where they are, so on and so forth. As far as the videotaping is concerned, we can try this out, see how this is going to work, or the board may want to resort back to possibly looking into the way we were doing it before.
Thank you, Will.
Can we have discussed the so-called both worlds, which is what you've just said about the way this gentleman's going to be able to download this and put it online is great, but will he be able to do that as well if we were to do the live meetings as well, as we did in the old days, which was to be on TV as well?
To simulcast it on television?
Right.
That would be something the board would have to decide if they wanted to do that. There is an expense involved with the keeping up the equipment, hiring the students at a minimal cost, but also an advisor to watch the students.
Is this something that he could?
No,
That's something that
teacher media specialist oversees the taping of.
You mean if you do it
If we
on
do
TV?
it on cable, yes. Paul?
Yeah, my feeling strongly we go back to the way we're doing it. No offense, I'm sure, I know video professionals, and I know what you pay for. I think we should go back to the board. I think we should have them continue to do just like we did in the old days, and I think we should have our students do it. I think we should put money in students' pockets, and I think we should make sure that whoever is responsible for teaching videography at Torrington High School should at the very, very, very least be able to teach these kids how to frame a shot, how to light correctly for it, how to edit, how to post to, kids today on their own know how to shoot and upload to YouTube and that kind of thing. Within the parameter of a course actually being taught at the high school, they should damn well know how to do it and do it well and professionally, and they should know how to break it down into usable segments. They should know all that stuff. They don't, and we have the wrong person teaching that course. So we should get that person teaching that course to teach these kids, put money in their pocket, and treat it as, we do so very little of that to begin with, and it's a huge, huge mistake on our part to be emphasizing. We need to be doing a lot more of that. So, again, with all due respect, sir, I just think this is Torrington education money should be spent on Torrington kids and learning how to do usable tasks.
Others?
Other than, I think before we make a particular decision as to which way, it would be nice to know what the figures are in terms of taping versus doing this. I know Bill in his report said, at reasonable cost and whatever, and not knowing what it would be to cost to do the TV versus this type of thing. I mean, to make a financial, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is that before we say yay or nay or which way we're going to go, it would be nice to know what it's going to cost to do A and what it's going to cost to do B.
I can give you an idea. Mr. Fauché is not charging us the going rate. I'm sure at a 3-hour movie, a 3-hour session, and ready to go and ready for the website. at $175 for the soup to nuts. Probably thinking about the cost, that the students are minimal. I think we're paying
It's
them
about 20 bucks.
20 bucks, 25 bucks a session. Times two, 40. We gave them a raise. Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
And then stipend for the teacher would probably run about $1,200 for the year. So, I mean, it's not, we're not talking about astronomical costs
We're
either way.
budgeted between 4,000 and 6,000. And
So,
so it's
yeah.
roughly the same, it's not the same or what, I mean, it's a couple thousand for this process.
The only biggest problem with the TV, it's great in the sense that people are very engaged in it, but over 4 years, I just had so many people say either they couldn't visually see it or the audio was horrible, and I just don't understand who was responsible for the poor quality of meeting after meeting. If it was, we need more infrastructure technology to actually, we need better cameras. What was it?
I have no idea. It shouldn't have been that, number one. Those are all extremely noble, and whoever was teaching that class or whoever's mentoring these kids should know how to do that, and if he doesn't, there's somewhere between the connectivity between where you're shooting and where you're receiving. It's really that simple. And then you spec it out. You find out, and you come in on your own, and you do some testing, and you figure it out. You figure it out, and this is what people do every single day for jobs. And these are the kind of jobs. These are jobs that are out there. If you hire the kids, we should be taking any of these moments, any of these things that we have within our district, we should take them and be pushing them a lot harder and farther than we're doing, okay? So we should take these kids and we should get somebody there who's mentoring them, who knows what they're doing. I mean, I'm not saying he doesn't or she doesn't. What I'm saying is who can accelerate this. So you get these kids, shoot the board meeting, and you know what? When they're finished, ask or get there early and ask a couple of the parents to do sit-down interviews. And then teach these kids how to do a sit-down, they've got, how many cameras do we have? And what do we have? 3. Perfect. I mean, you can do just a 2-camera, an over-the-shoulder interview. There's a specific way of lighting it. Those are things that you can, those are kinds of skills that you get good at and you can sell. Okay, how to light for that. They're minimal, they're basic things. And they're doing it in other high schools, they're doing it, we do it as a board, and we should get these kids to, start thinking about how to do that. Why are you here, ma'am? Why are you here, sir? What are you doing? Oh, you're receiving this kind of award for the thing? Talk to the kids. So then that becomes, then let them edit that, get whoever we do graphics at our high school, let them do graphics for that thing. You put that up as a Torrington Board of Education meeting, what do we call it? Achievement something, where we honor students and we honor teachers. Let them, that becomes, and it's every month we're doing, every month we're giving them material that they can work and learn and get better at. And that's what we should be doing. It's money well spent, and it's huge uptick in awareness of these things, and it's a whole area. The broadcast industry is a whole, and providing content to the internet is a huge area of job growth and job potential, and we should be maximizing that every opportunity we can. This is a perfect opportunity, I think.
Joanne?
I'm not passionate about it.
What do you think we can, what can we, as a, meaningful from high school, and they actually have different cameras too down the road in technology.
To address the first issue, I don't know why it was always so consistently poor.
Well, we had a bad box.
That was.
Yeah, look at what they had, look at the connections, look at the amplifiers out. There's 100 different ways that could be bad.
So anyway,
that's not your job.
Obviously, we need to figure out what that was. And then, maybe we have to expand our video production courses to, we do have video production 1, video production 2. They do follow a curriculum. They do some great things. And
there was discussion 2 years ago and a year ago about bringing, since we have to, we do the St. Jude's thing, we have to bring in the own service for Cablevision. But this goes into our infrastructure, Ken, that we had been discussing about what we need to bring up towards these schools to bring the infrastructure up to par. If we don't have the hookups available, which we only have at the media center right now at the high school, if I'm wrong, let me know.
I think you're right.
And we're talking about bringing it towards the little theater, having the meetings in there. I discussed that with Chris, went through a whole long discussion on that, because if we brought that terminal in, we wouldn't have to worry about Cable 5 coming in and setting up a drastic production service for St. Jude's work. That also, to have that available in the school, what would it be? There was money involved in that. And I had asked, and that kind of fell off the table, but I think if you really want to go that route, I think this is something for discussion and implementation, implement it into the budget process too, of what you want to do as far as, and technology is right down the hallway there at the little theater. So if it's something that we have to run, and David would know, across the ceilings, or whatever we have to bring from Media Center all the way down to get the feed from Cablevision, to work that out, or whichever, and to do both. I'd much rather, don't only utilize the setup for Cablevision alone. I mean, it should be able to go out to other people that if you don't have Cablevision, you can't see it. That's not proper either. That's why we went towards the internet. We figured everybody had that, and that would be streamlined. I don't know what's streamlining that live. If we can do that, that's fine, but it's something, there's a lot more to look into than.
Yeah, and I can tell you, I mean, all these sports networks are looking, they've tapped out college conferences, okay? I mean, certainly professional college conferences. They're looking at high schools now. They're getting integrated in high schools, MSG, and there's initiatives, certainly, my company, but MSG is doing it, Fox, they're all doing it, they're looking to expand, and what they're looking to do is to figure out how to kind of franchise their brand into schools, so that you give them packages, you want to get off the topic. Oh, I thought you were going to say, well, this is off topic. No. But what I'm saying is that there's stuff out there that's happening, and we should really be moving fast to get these kids, covering games, doing interviews after games, and then learning how to edit them together. There's jobs out there, and there's careers out there.
Ken?
It almost sounds like this is a topic we should move to school improvement.
I second that.
Yes.
Motion made and
Let him
seconded.
talk. Let dog his head off his own meeting, okay. Fair enough, point well taken.
Okay. So we're sending this to school improvement?
We'd like to make a motion to send it to school.
Okay, and Fiona seconded. I'll take that one.
Aye.
Everybody's.
No discussion on the matter. All those in favor, send it to school improvement, say aye.
Aye.
So moved. It's going to be 9-1, overruled.
Are you happy now?
You can thoroughly look it over there.
Okay, item
It's a great
7.
idea.
I'll never get a quorum for that.
Okay, let's keep on task here. Approval of the October 2011 financial statements.
Go ahead, Danielle.
Everything's running on course. The two areas that I want to talk about, the para overtime. On page 2, middle of the page, that is 1,373 in the negative currently. Next month you'll see a budget transfer. We're going to have to put approximately $5,000–6,000 in there for para overtime this year due to a parent staying after school 3 days a week from the start of the school year through the end with a child. The next item is the special ed tuition. That's creeping over into the negatives. Next month, we discussed in budget committee, I will begin to do the summary report, and we're going to have a thorough examination of the tuition and transportation of special ed next month to really grasp that. Other than that, everything looks good.
Yeah, no, we looked at it, I think we spent half an hour on it. 40 minutes. So, no, we're good. We recommended it to the board for receipt and approval, so.
I'll take that motion.
I'll motion to approve.
Discussion.
That's
Okay, second. Made by David, second by Judith. Discussion? Go
Two
ahead.
Two questions. On the copier numbers, am I correct, we're 102%? So we're over 100%?
Copiers are
Mine,
in
I'm
the neg-
5440. Thank you.
Yeah, that was brought up earlier in this year. That isn't, we'll need to do a budget transfer into that account. The color copier at central office is not included in the budget projections.
Okay, but the buildings are running as
Yeah.
projected as far
Yeah,
as costs.
absolutely, yes.
And then the second issue I have is 5641 textbooks. I know I talked about that earlier, at an earlier board meeting, and trying to figure out, again, why hasn't that money been spent? I know Sue's the one who was talking about it when I originally asked the question
Yeah,
2 months ago.
last budget meeting and board meeting, we gave a full description of what is being spent. The majority of all of the textbooks that were in the curriculum have been bought, purchased, received. The library books are an ongoing basis. We check with the principals. They're aware of their schools and what they need, but it's not a order everything during the summer and get it. It's an ongoing process. And another area that we found why we have the 18,000 in the textbooks is because last school year, the prior superintendent gave permission to use 15,000 of monies that we had as a surplus to purchase the literacy books sooner rather than later. So now we have a surplus in that account, and the direction from the budget committee to our principals were to use the money and not save it, and that's what they're doing.
You can assure me, or Mrs. Creedon, that the math books have been finally given to the teachers in those courses, and they are implementing the use of those books?
I believe so, but right now, with these witnesses, I would have to go and double check tomorrow, Mr. Nardi, and let you know. But I can email you tomorrow. I will check first thing.
Won't get an email to me, but
Oh, okay. Send you a letter.
Danielle, in that textbook line items, there are consumables in there too?
Correct. There's consumables,
So we use those over the course of the year.
right.
So that's why I just think it's worth adding that perspective to that line item too. So you may have all of the textbooks that you need for a given class, but you may not have the need to order certain consumable pieces that are used throughout the duration of that class.
And I understand that, but
Okay.
I'm just saying, Sue, in her last discussion, she acknowledged that those books were not in the building at the beginning of the school year. She said they ordered them, they were supposed to be delivered, but as of that meeting, which was the September meeting, they still were not there, and I'm just trying to check up and see
Yeah,
if
and
they,
they were
on that
since then.
specific,
Yeah, and
she
they have been
acknowledged that.
since then.
Okay.
She researched that, and that was brought last month.
Because, I mean, it's
Maybe just
important.
rushed the budget committee, maybe didn't go to the full board, maybe that's why.
Well, we had it at the full board when I talked about that.
Right, and then last month's
And-
budget committee, it got vetted and.
Right, and I just, I mean, it's just a broader topic, which is, this is an important thing that as we continue on year in, year out, we want administration to know that we want the teachers to have these books on day one as opposed, because they gotta teach the classes.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's my concern, thank you.
Okay. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye. Opposed? So moved. Unanimous. Thank you. Budget transfers.
Okay, the first one is,
2012-007.
yes, athletic dues and fees into athletic insurance. We had an increase in the premium this school year for our athletic insurance. We haven't had an increase in the past few years. We were betting that we wouldn't, but we did, so we need a budget transfer.
Budget, Chair.
Yeah, unanimously approved. I'll make a motion to approve the transfer, I'm sorry.
Second by Ellen. Discussion. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, so moved, unanimous, thank you. 2012.
008,
Yeah.
the next budget transfer is athletic dues and fees to athletic rental. The YMCA rental for the swimming pool increased. And Mr. Oliver, as far as we could go back, we've been renting it for 35 years. I'm sure it's been a lot longer than that. That's just as far as we can go back. We don't have to save those documents.
No, thank you.
I'm sure if we found a historian, he or she could go to those.
So what we had discussed at budget is,
Yeah.
you know, do we have, how much would it cost to
Right.
build the pool?
Yeah, and I'll get that for you for next budget committee.
Right, so, again, nothing against the Y, they've served the district well for a long period of time. The question is, I know, and I think one of the figure that we had heard was that there was a pad by here at the middle school on the side of the school that was,
Right.
that could have been, that was originally designated for the pool, but it was gonna cost something like $3.5 million to put that in, and then you have the maintenance and all of that, so we were just kicking that idea around again, yeah, we have this $43,000 line item with a $900 increase now. So the budget committee looked at it, even though we asked to re-examine the notion of the pool, but we approved this unanimously.
I'll get you on discussion.
Yeah, okay, and then we'll make a motion to approve.
Second by Ellen. Discussion. Andrew?
Okay, as far as the pool concept, I don't know who here on this board level remembers the discussion we had at school improvement, I believe, with the Trout family, and that somewhat went, haven't heard anything about that. What, are they still trying to pursue their concept of bringing it to the middle school?
I haven't heard it, follow-up. I think economic realities kicked in, and they have not approached me, certainly.
I can shed a little light on it if you'd like.
Excuse me?
I can shed a little light on it if you'd like. There is a fund set up there, securing private donations to raise the money. They're not anywhere near the level they need to be at, so they're still in the process of trying to raise funds.
Okay.
So until they have the money, they're not gonna bother.
No, right, exactly.
Keep coming back.
I know.
Tremendous idea that they brought forward 15 years ago, and should have been done 15 years ago, but it didn't work.
I mean, he had great
Catch up.
passion and towards getting it implemented, and just wondered how.
Fantastic idea.
Yeah, and hopefully we could be supportive as a board to get that up and running. Second thing is on this, why are we over budget at $988 on this rental?
Because it went up, the rental fee went up.
I mean,
Right.
didn't we contractualize with them?
No, it's a year-to-year contract, and we were able to get them at a 0 last year. But their costs increase and they increase us.
What did we budget in this year's budget for renting the pool?
It's,
The same as last year.
it would be $900 less than what we're
Right.
asking for now.
Yeah,
We don't
that's
have
what I'm
the
saying. I mean, I
cost.
thought we didn't, when we did the budget, didn't we, at
Factor
that
in an
point,
increase?
contractualize with them for the swim season,
No.
11, 12? We don't do that?
No, you would
So
think
no.
we would, but we don't. It happens during the summer of every school year. That's when they do it. That's when the YMCA hooks with the athletic director and reviews the contract.
So we have to set our budget. I mean,
Let's break that then, break that theory and go back to the YMCA and the athletic director and ask that they have it. We would like to make
During
that
the budget.
cycle in January instead of during the summer, so we can allot it in our budget appropriately, right? There's nothing.
Yeah, no,
wrong
there's
with
nothing wrong with that. The
Might
problem
be
is,
YMCA's fiscal year that they budget that way. It might be us, the way
We
they
sign
have
a
to
contract
report
for it?
theirs.
Yeah, the summer of every year.
I don't know what fiscal, if they're on a
I'll
fiscal
go
year.
and
Usually
I'll
most are
find out.
on a 6/30
They're
fiscal
not
year, so
profit.
they,
They go by what the
Fiscal,
revenue is,
they're
and they
ending in
determine
July.
what the charges are.
This is,
Right.
Right, if we were trying to set a price, or trying to agree on a contract this winter for the following winter, I don't know, I mean, it would be tough. They don't know what their costs are. I mean, just keeping that place warm. I mean,
Right. We didn't, our first year, we had this little runaround.
We did, and we negotiated, I thought we negotiated a price that was set aside, and that was
Yeah.
from previous administrators. We asked for them to negotiate, and one thing came back to another, that there was no negotiation, or that this was the cost, straight out.
Right.
And that was done at the budget time.
Right, and that was done during budget time, so I honestly think it would be appropriate if we have a locked-in contract for the future year, so it's proper for us for planning for our budget. If not, if you're gonna then now lead a 1 or 2% increase every year into it, I mean, it's not right either. I mean, we're hiding money, you know?
well, we're not hiding money.
We're not
Well,
budgeting
I'd
for
like
that.
to have a fixed contract.
I'll research it and get to the YMCA and
Okay.
get you an answer.
I'm sure it would be appropriate if they would, I mean, it's $43,000 a year to them too.
How many weeks is this?
It's not in the weeks, it's more of the hours. You can see the rates per hour here. And it's the amount of days, you know, typically 8 weeks, 11 weeks at certain times. You know, it goes, and dates are all over. I mean, their times are all over when they can practice. And there's different practice times from 3 to 5 to 8 to 9:30. And they practice on Saturdays too, and then the meets are at a different rate issue also. Because they have to supply their own lifeguard to us.
What is
They're-
it, an hourly use?
Rate per hour,
Yeah.
but it's for the, use in the lifeguard, it's $188 per hour for the use of the facility and the lifeguard.
There's a
Can't
total.
say figure, what do you figure they pay the lifeguard, what's the ballpark? What do you pay the lifeguard? $40 an hour?
No, $10.56.
Are you kidding me?
No, this is right here in
It
this.
says what it is.
Okay. So take out the lifeguard, what was the number, what was the
The
hourly rate?
contracted
Oh, come on,
price is
folks, this is a huge amount of money that they're
41,000.
charging us. I would like to
It's
know more.
41,000 for the rental,
Yeah.
and it is 2,500 for the lifeguard.
Yep, right there. It's 2,500.
But just as an hourly, just on an hourly fee.
So if
If
you
they're
were-
working on an hour, billing us hourly, I'd like to know what the hourly.
It's 188.
188.02
Okay,
per hour.
okay, so 178 without the lifeguard?
It's a little bit more than that. There's 139 hours. It's actually more than that.
But the meets are higher. You gotta understand, there's a different rate for meets.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So total, it's,
Just for
200
practices,
244
$184.
hours. 244 hours. Total. Divide that by 43,500
And
That's
meets
what it is.
are,
per hour.
for 3 hours, it's 376, which is actually
They got heat,
less.
they got chemicals, they got insurance.
Liability.
It's a liability, so.
Yeah. Yep, okay.
I mean, they need to cover their
Yeah.
costs. I mean,
Administrative costs too.
I don't know what that, I didn't do the math on that, but,
Yeah.
It's all broken out, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's broken out very well.
It is what it is.
if you wanna have a swim team and a diving team
Yeah, that's
and hold meets, this is what it costs. Unless you wanna build your own pool and then encumber all of those costs here.
Dave, get back in your seat.
I'm just saying, I mean, that's the reality. You either rent this facility and have the team, or you don't have the team, or you build a facility and have the teams. Those are the 3 options that you have.
Or you do some percentage of pay to play.
You could do that as well. That would be another alternative.
The issue I'm gonna vote against this is because, as far as I'm concerned, we do a budget process, we put a number in, fixed number, of what the cost is to run it through the Y. It becomes an issue of how we do our athletic budget, amount of money we feel fair to apportion to different teams. Now you're coming back, or they're coming back and saying it's $988.36 more. I'm not going to approve it at this, I'm not going to vote for it at this time.
Any other discussion?
We looked at this at the budget committee and approved it unanimously. So that's our recommendation. It says, not to say that $900 is a small amount, but when you look at the percentage increase, considering we didn't have an increase last year, it's a reasonable increase for the service that, you know, they provide us. You know, a facility.
Yeah, I think the lost part here is we have to contract on a yearly basis and have to fix the budget, so.
We can
I
see if
think
we can sync up the way that we negotiate that
Yeah.
contract.
If we foresee an increase and they foresee an increase, we'd like to see it before, not midway through on budget season.
And the only other option is not to build another pool. There are other options. We had an option to utilize a pool in Litchfield and at an extremely discounted price at that time. We wanted to stay with the Y because it's the Torrington Y. We have a long-term relationship, but it's not black and white. Either pool, we build, or use them. There are alternatives, maybe not as nice as the pool that we have at the Y, but you know, it's dollars for dollars. You know, if it's $10,000, $20,000 less to go somewhere else, that's something the board has to think about. And
There's transportation.
There's transportation.
yeah, and we figured those numbers. It was going to be substantial.
But we did look, I believe the administration did look at other options.
CJR.
At CJR in particular,
Couldn't do meets.
they couldn't hold the meetings.
And that would
Which
be
would
another
be-
cost and another
They just couldn't hold them.
It's not regulation, you need regulation.
And it's
to
not
do
Rules
with me.
around meetings.
So then you have to decide if people want to pay the extra $20,000 to have the meets here, or have all your meets away and pay $20,000 less. I'm not saying, I don't make that decision, the board makes that decision, the public makes that decision. I'm just saying, you should have an honest discussion about this going into the budget, and then you make your decision. And in November, I don't want to hear that they want an extra $988.
Point taken.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Your motion carries 9-1. Thank you.
The next transfer, 009, is from non-instructional supplies and health to non-instructional equipment. The refrigerator in the health office of Forbes School is unrepairable at this point. They need a new one for the medication.
Yeah, we discussed this at budget and approved it unanimously. Recommended it to the board, and we're making a motion to approve.
Second by Fiona, discussion. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? So moved. Thank you. Okay, consent agenda. Motion to approve by David, second by Alan. There be no discussion. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? So moved. Unanimous. Thank you.
Point of order.
Yes.
On the, number 9, we had
Oh, I
to
missed.
bring in.
Aye.
Oh.
Yeah. Trying to rush right past you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Bates.
That's okay.
I'll take a withdrawal of the consent agenda motions.
Yeah, I withdrew.
Okay. And go back to I missed an item on, sorry, I was rushed. Okay, 6.9, Torrington Public School Administrators Contract Agreement.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to approve the tentative agreement between the Torrington Public School Administrator Association and the Torrington Board of Ed for the school year of 2012 to 13. And during discussion, I can state what the agreement would be.
Motion on the table, and a second. Who's that? Daniel, second by Daniel. Discussion, go right ahead.
Discussion, basically, we did come to an agreement with the public school administrators. And before I get into the specifics, I would just like to mention the fact that we did have a respectful process. The administrators really stepped up to the plate, and they're realizing the fact of the economic issues that we are being faced with, and I and the committee commend them on their dedication and for their focus on what is best for the students and this district. And they kept that piece in mind, and they are, you know, basically are commended for doing that. Also, just get into specifics on the contract and what was decided. For this particular year, we have no increase in the general wage. This will be 2 years in a row that we've had this happen with the administrators. And it was mentioned that we were the first district in the state to be able to do a 2-year zero increase on our administrators. As far as the medical plan is concerned, it's the same as it was last year, so there's no movement on that area. So theoretically, there's actually no movement in salaries and also benefits for this year. And I think that, well, this year, well, the negotiation is for next year.
For 12, 13.
And then in 13, we'll go into negotiation for contract.
Very good.
And also, I'd like to thank the negotiating committee, Fiona, Danielle, and Bill, for hanging in there during for this negotiation. So, any questions?
Congratulations on the agreement.
Congratulations, thank you very much, Bates, and others that were involved in it. And to thank the administrators, negotiating team, and all of the administrators for seeing a well contract for next year. Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved unanimously, thank you.
Okay, and P.S. I forgot the fact that the administrators did approve, ratify the contract yesterday unanimously.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So the next step is to go to City Council.
Thank you. Okay, now back to the consent agenda. I'll take David's motion to approve and Ellen's second. Okay, there being no discussion, all those in favor say aye. Opposed? So moved, thank you. Comments for good of the order. See that both our members left, but want to recognize the new board members, them being John Gisco, Mr. Rivero, and Mr. Marola. We've already done a I call it pre-installation service with discussion with everybody and what they should have for packets and everything. I'm hoping to see them have packets before they're inducted because they're FOIable anyway, so it's just...
I met with 2 of them so far.
Okay.
One, Mr. Kisco and Mr. Marola.
Okay.
Mr. Rivero's on vacation. We put up, Ms. Lutro put together a prequel to the packet.
Okay.
But we have a good idea of what's going to go into it, and we can start working on it tomorrow now that we made it through Board of Ed.
Okay, thank you. I'll go around. Anything else go to the order? Around.
Well,
go ahead, Bates.
Might as well. The time has come, in terms of just basically leaving the board, as just quote Shakespeare, parting is such sweet sorrow. And it's been a pleasure over the years to work with highly professional individuals, dedicated board members, administrators, and teachers. I was thinking the other day, some of the students are going to be graduating, that some of them just entered into either kindergarten or first grade when I came on the board. They ought to be commended for putting up with me all these years. So if they're listening or going to pay attention to this on the web, hey, you hung in there, and wish you well and all that. I want to, as Frank had already mentioned, congratulating the new board members that are coming on the board. And the basic advice that I'd give is just keep all students in mind, as we all have done, and figuring out what's making decisions based upon what's good for the students. And I'm sorry that I won't get to the mountaintop or the promised land with you, but I'll pray for you.
David?
No, I just, I mean, for what it's worth, you know, I've been missing some of you guys. You know, we've all been together for a number of years and have sat and tried, and you know, through various trying situations, I think have emerged with the right decisions in mind, with the school district in mind, with the children and the community in mind. And I think the board is, you're leaving the board in a better place than it was when you first arrived. So for your service and your duty to this community, you should be commended, and we appreciate it. And you know, for people who have not had the privilege of sitting on the board, dealing with the amount of time and energy and deliberation that goes into these matters that are before us, it's quite an undertaking and quite a commitment that we all endure personally, and hopefully you'll walk away stronger, wiser people, and hopefully the community will at least pat you on the back to the extent that you deserve it. So, you're welcome.
I just want to say it's been an honor and a privilege to serve on the board, and thank you, and everybody I've served with.
Exactly, I echo Dave's sentence, you know. I've been on for 8 years now, and I think the year around for 12 was just mind-boggling.
Why would you do that to yourself?
I keep my psychiatrist kids in college.
I was writing notes on myself all night. Why did I do this again?
I saw them.
Yeah. But anyway, I would like to thank the retired board members just for their service. You know, this is one of those boards where you truly do it for the benefit of the community. I mean, you really do. I hope you can just give you your recognition you guys have earned and deserved. You've been a great board. Since I've been on, you've been terrific board members, and we've often disagreed on things, some of us. But I always thought that at the end of the day, it was always really what was in the best interest of the school district, and you are to be commended, so thank you.
I just wanted to echo the same thing. Thank you. I know that it's a lot more work than I ever anticipated it was going to be, so I really found appreciation. And you know, the old saying goes, money can't buy you time, but at least the three of you will now have some time, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Good luck.
Party at Frank's.
A little different subject, which is I just would like to try to continue to express to the administration and to the high school principal my dream for the school district, being that when I first came on, I thought that we would engage ourselves with Oliver Wolcott somehow to partner up on our strengths and weaknesses. That dream has died, but I have a new dream that I'd like to share with you all, and that dream is to somehow try to get at the high school level a certain type of sub-school or sub-program
which would actually lead those students who want to engage in that curriculum a job when they get out, so that it would be an alternative. I understand like the trade school, trades, you could be a plumber, electrician, food, whatever. But as Paul's talked about, there's lots of types of new and upcoming technical types of trades and vocations out there. And it'd be great if the administration could possibly get back to us several different types of successful programs throughout the country that lead students who want to be engaged in this type of program. When they graduate from high school, they have actually both the academic experience and maybe partner up with regional employers, and then you just be right into a job just like you go to trade school and you do as a plumber. And then that's my dream. And then the other things I'd like to make some personal comments about. 3 outgoing board members. I'll start off by saying I thought it was great, Judy Raymond. She was very soft-spoken and direct, and certainly enjoyed being around her. As far as Bates is concerned, I've never seen anyone have as much devotion and time as far as just being engaged in every aspect of education and being a board member. Truly remarkable. And then as far as Frank, I just appreciate his ability as chairman to stay focused, ran a great meeting, and truly immersed himself in little nuances that took a tremendous amount of his personal time, and I really want to thank him for that type of devotion that he's exhibited all 4 years. So that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure serving on the board. I say 4.5 years ago, I asked my kids if there was a choice here where they wanted me to run. I wanted to get back in the public sector, you know, get into the, see if I could help out the community again after taking a hiatus for 6 years while my little ones grew up. So I gave them the choice. It was either run for council or run for Board of Ed. And you know, they said, Dad, we want to see you on the Board of Ed. And that's why I did it. Being here has been very special to me. I think that the greatest opportunity, and Paul will know, is to be able to hand your daughter their diploma. That was the greatest feeling in the world. And to sign all those diplomas, as we know, was also fruitful. To see your name and say, you know, 20, 30 years from now, oh my God, you were actually, you know, the
I hope I'm around to hear them say that 20, 30 years from now.
You might be around, but you can't hear
All right. I don't know how to go that route, but it's been a pleasure. I know the commitment that every board member makes, and the time that's involved, and you know, we research and we look for what's best for the kids and carry on. I mean, I'm not falling off the earth. I'll be around, I'm sure, and if there's something that I can help with in the future, I'd be more than happy to give this board a hand. So, thank you all very much. And coming in, and Paul threw me right to the wolves as, you know, budget chair in the first year.
As I want.
And then, yeah. And, you know, getting right into it. When people don't realize, and the new ones will realize, you get right into it. And you just don't have time. You've got to run with it. And for all the board members, good luck in the future. And Bates, you and me, Martini, sit wherever you want.
Hey.
Good trying the new board members at BOE.
But that being said, we'll go further here. Committee reports, budget committee.
We took action. Yeah, I mean, we took action on most of the things that we discussed.
Okay.
So we're fine.
Judith, grievance.
Nothing to report.
No, we're good. So far, so good.
Faith Personnel, you met
We've already
tonight.
done.
You did a great job on that.
Thank you.
Policy, you're up to date? You're there, right?
They third of the way through bylaws, and we took our gap analysis and we divided it into sections instead of trying to crack the whole thing. So it'll be done over the next few months. We're good.
Paul, school improvement.
Nothing going on there.
Okay. So you're good for now. You got a lot to tackle. I mean, you got through one important measure, I think we'll step forward with. BRC.
But we haven't done
Okay, so you're good. What I don't see on here is school capacity committee, and then we have the bonding. I want to make sure we, let's
They're
follow
gonna be
through.
melded together, right?
Okay.
Because it makes sense. I mean, at this point, you can't really have one discussion without the other.
Okay, just a truthful saying with this, you have your facility study with Fletcher, you have your step forward, let's not lose track of that. As a board, we gotta continue, let's maintain. I did miss one thing, I just wanted to step forward. For items for upcoming agenda, on 10, you have the introduction of new board members, election of new officers, budget plans. Now, there's been some questions asked of me to understand where all the technology money's going to and the use of it. I'll leave with that gesture. If we're gonna buy smart boards, if we bought smart boards, where they're being utilized within the school system, who's utilizing them, whose teachers are utilizing them, and are they using it? In other words, if we're spending the money, I wanna make sure we're utilizing them in, in the classrooms, not over in a corner or whatever. I just think as a board, we've gotta know, we're spending 200 grand here. We bought this many whiteboards, we bought this many computers, we're using them here, here, and here. So can this board give an update of that?
We actually,
Oh, you did? I'm sorry, where did I miss it?
we did it at budget.
Did I miss it? Okay.
As far as, we didn't necessarily talk about utilization so much as we were trying to get an idea of what what the spread of the disbursement of technology was across the district. And I think it was an eye-opening experience. We want to take it to another level. I would recommend that the whole board have a discussion once we sort of figure out how it's being dispersed and utilized. So we could certainly put that on a
It's been
70%
questioned
done,
by,
90%
other
done.
people to me.
Yep.
So my constituents, so I want to bring it out there and just see.
Well, you're not running again, so you don't have any constituents.
Right, so my past constituents.
Your wife.
Yeah, so your wife.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, but we did talk about it at budget, and then we can bring that
We brought
forward.
the inventory forward.
It was the
Skull.
Yeah, I saw that.
We could talk
I want
about
to make sure they
utilization.
got minutes on them.
Yes.
Yes.
And if we doing PD to match the time with the teacher.
So the teachers know how to utilize the technology
Yeah.
that's in the room? Probably a good
Yes.
idea.
Whatever.
Is that going on December?
Do you want to put that on December?
It's up to you, whoever the exec board's gonna be at in December. Well, I mean, you're gonna have a meeting,
I'm the only guy right now.
that's right, so you're gonna meet with yourself.
You have an open canvas.
Yeah, I gotta go down.
Run with it.
Because I'm still here.
What constitutes a quorum?
It all depends. If he's gonna give himself.
Temporaries for the time being.
Is that what it is?
No. So that means you're setting the agenda for
Yeah.
December. And the first item on the agenda will be, just so everybody knows, the election of new officers and all that.
Yeah, we can put the technology stuff in there.
Yeah, I just thought it might be something.
Cheryl will meet before budget, right?
We'll do it next, just for a little.
Anybody wants to go?
It depends upon what time it is. It might be around cocktail time
Okay,
or whatever,
okay.
yeah.
Okay, in future meetings, we have
Jacuzzi.
we have an expulsion hearing on 22nd, that's correct, right?
Yes,
Okay, we have enough members for that?
yes.
All set.
Yes, yeah. You got all of us from
Okay,
TEA. We
Right.
start at
If you
3,
don't, you
we
call
take a
me,
break
I'll
at
come
5,
in.
we go back
We're
on
actually
at
taking
6.
a break in the middle of our
No,
TEA.
you are, but not us.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay, policy committee is meeting in November 30th. School improvement on the 30th also. Budget December 14th. And personnel committee meeting before the meeting on the 21st. And there was another meeting,
Yes.
I'm missing, is it
The
the 28th?
tech.
Right.
No, the budget,
It's
no, the
There was
budget
another-
school
formation.
capacity, school capacity and,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's.
but that's my meeting, that's not what that.
Right, it's
But we're
just a
in-
generalized meeting.
Yes, but it's November 28th.
She's very possessive of her meeting.
No, school capacity
It's all
and
about
bonding
Yeah.
is, you know, you're worse than a classroom of kids by this.
So like on Friday, why don't you just give us a, you don't have to say it anymore.
Just put it in.
Entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
So moved by David, Ken.
There we go.
Any discussion, all those in favor?
Favor, aye.
Opposed? Here.
All right.
Cheryl.
What's his name is left?
You have an appointment? Hey, now.